This video has been made possible by Rebusfarm, the professional render service. And welcome to part 5. Hey guys, so welcome to part 5 of our bike video series, and I expect this to be the last one, so we should be able to finish this up. And what we're going to do in this video is we're going to create the gears and we're going to create the chain. Okay, so let's start with the gears. We're going to start with a polygon cylinder, and we're going to try and make that the right size. So hit E to rotate, hold down J as you do so. We're going to hit W, we're going to push that back a little, and then we're going to jump into this view, and we're going to move it over. Actually, hang on, I'm not making these guys, I'm making these guys, sorry, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to hit 4 for wireframe mode, F to zoom in, and I want to snap this to the center of that axle. So while hitting W to move it, I'm going to hold down V to snap to vertex. And that way, and hopefully you guys can see this, I can scale that up to the right size. Now what's really important here is that we need to consider the number of teeth on our gear. Typically on a gear this size you would have about 50, and in the back about 15. So what we need to do is we need to set a subdivision level to 150, so we can choose one face out of every 3. Okay, now we're gonna hit Control A to pull up our attribute editor. We're gonna go into polycylinder, and like I said, I'm gonna set that to 150. It's quite a lot, but if you want to make it look good, it's basically what you need to do. What I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to deviate a little bit from the point where I put it, just so I can see that I basically have the right scale here. And then I'm going to hit W and snap that back to that center, like so, because that is more important for our model. Okay, to make sure that that is centered. Okay, we're going to pull that out. I'm going to hit R to scale that in. Hit F to zoom in. We want this to be very thin, so we're going to do something like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to select one out of every 3 faces. And I'll do a few and then I'll pause the video so you guys can do that on your own. So basically one here, one here, one here. Let's see. Yeah, that's yeah. Okay. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go all the way around, and I'll see you guys when that's done. Okay. See you in a bit. Okay, guys. We need to do 1 out of every 3. So this is 1 and 2. We don't want that. We want 1 and 3. Okay. So it's 1 and skip 2. All right. See you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so I got all of that selected, and I'll hit 4 for wireframe mode so you can see it a bit better, like so. What we're going to do next is we're going to hit Control E to extrude that, and we're going to drag on the thickness to bring that out. I'll hit 5 for shaded mode and go back. Now you need to be really careful with this, that you don't make them too long, because once we position the chain, it's going to be impossible to have the chain elements be fixed exactly in the right position so they match up with the teeth of the gear. Okay, so we're going to keep that quite small. Let's do 0.1, that's about it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tweak the offset a little bit. Okay, so let's try that again. Let's do 0.02 maybe, and you can see that that's already quite a lot. It's actually not too bad. Let's see, 0.01. Let's do 0.015. That's about right. Okay. So now that we have that main gear, what we're going to do is we're going to get a little motif in there, if you will. Let's see if we're still aligned with our axle. Yeah, so don't worry about the reference image, that's fine. And what we're going to do next is we're going to take a polygon cylinder. We're going to hit W, we're going to pull that out. Where is it? Right there? Yep. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit 5 for shaded mode. We're going to move this over and bring this down. And what we can do right now is select our bike and hit Control H to hide it. and we'll actually take our reference image. It looks like I got something going on there. Hang on, let me just fix that. Okay, so I hid the bike. I'm going to take this guy, hit E to rotate it, hold down J to snap, like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit R to scale that out, W to push that through. I'm going to hit Control A to increase that split vision level quite high. Let's do 60. And then we're going to go back into our front view here. We're going to hit 4 for wireframe mode. Hold down V and snap it to the center like so. We're going to hit R, we're going to scale it down. Let's see, that's about right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit W, we're going to move it over to, let's say, about here. We're going to hit the insert key to move the pivot point. And we're going to move that over to the center here, and we're going to hold down V to snap it to that pivot point. Okay. Hit the insert key, we're going to hit Control D to duplicate, E to rotate, hold down J as you do that. Let's see, 4 snaps of 15 degrees, and then we're going to hit Shift D to repeat that. So we get a nice pattern. Okay, cool. So now that we have that, we're going to drag select these guys. We're going to go to Mesh and Combine. And then we're going to select our gear, shift select these guys, and go to Mesh, Boolean, and Difference. Okay, which will give us this guy right here. Okay, we're going to go back to Display, Show, and All. So we got our entire bike, and we can now get this into position. Hit W, move that in. From our top view, we're going to hit F to zoom in, and we don't want that to hit anything. So it has to be clear from our frame, it has to be clear from the pedal. So for now this looks okay. And basically what we're going to do next is we are going to create a gear for the back following the same principle. Okay, so we're going to again take a polygon cylinder, hit E to rotate, hold down J as we do so, Control A, and I don't want my channel box, I want my attribute editor. Let's do, let's see, I need 15, so we're going to do 3 times that, so we're going to do 45. Okay, let's minimize that. We're going to jump over here. We're going to get it onto the right height, so hit 5, W to move it. Let's start to move it over here. F to zoom in, and 4 for wireframe mode. Here we have our axle. So we're going to hit W, hold down V to snap it, and there you go. So now that that's in place, we need to have roughly the right dimensions. This looks about right. We need to make sure that it's not too thick, obviously. So we're going to bring that in like so. Have to zoom in, it's still a bit thick. And I'm basically going to follow the same process as we did before. So I'm going to select all of that, hit Control H to hide it. Let's hide this as well. I'm going to take this guy, have to zoom in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select faces 1 in 3. So I'm going to skip 2 every time as before. So this should go slightly quicker. There we go. We're going to hit Control E to extrude. Let's do 0.1, and in the offset we'll do 0.015. I think we did. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, looks okay. And again, we need to create a pattern here. So, well, we don't need to, but we want to. So we're going to take another polygon cylinder. Where are we at? Right here. E to rotate it, hold down J to snap it, R to stretch it out. We're going to go into our attribute editor and set level to 60. And then we're going to get back in front of this guy. We're going to hold down W to move it. We're going to hold V to snap it to the center. F to zoom in. R to scale down. And I'm just trying to get something that kind of fits that. I think that's okay. Hit W, move it to a position that you're okay with. Hit the insert key, W to move that pivot point, and hold down V to snap it. Hit the insert key again. Control D to duplicate it. E to rotate. Hold down J, like so. Shift D, Shift D, Shift D, and Shift D. Okay. We're going to go back in and we're going to drag select these guys, go to Mesh and Combine, and then I'm going to select this, Shift select that, Mesh, Boolean, and Difference. Okay. So that is our rear gear. We're now going to go back to Mesh and actually display and show all. So let's get that guy into position, roughly in position, because we can only do that once we have our chain. But I'm just going to have a look here, and that is going to be tight, but hopefully it will work. I think we're going to be okay. Okay. So these are our gears, and that concludes that. And the next step is to set up our chain. Okay, here we go. Okay guys, now that we have that, the moment is there to start to work on our chain. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a chain element, and we're going to copy that over a NURBS path. So let's start by creating that path. So I'm going to switch to this view here. I'm going to hit 5 for shaded mode, and I'm actually going to take my reference and I'm going to get rid of it because we don't need that anymore. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a let's see, we're going to go to create, we're going to go to NURBS primitives, and let's try a circle. Okay, we're going to hit E to rotate it, hold down J as we do that until we're at 90 degrees, W to move that down, 4 for wireframe mode, so we can snap that. So again, we're going to hold down V and snap that to the center here. I'm going to hit R and scale that up until we're basically at the edge of the teeth here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to right click and go to Vertex, and I just want it to be on this guy here. So let's see, how are we going to fix that? We're going to do that by getting rid of everything we don't need right now, which is basically the bike. Okay, so Control H to hide that. There we go. So we got our curve right there, and we're going to go to Control Vertex. And let's see, we'll drag select a few like so. We'll hit B on our keyboard. So we've got soft select going on. And we're going to pull that over like so. And we're going to start to scale that down. And pull that over some more. Just scale it down a bit more. Okay, we're going to hit B to turn off that soft select, and we're going to right click and go to Control Vertex, and let's actually rebuild that curve first. Okay, hang on. Okay guys, well I've been looking at this. Obviously I want to have more vertex points in the curves here, and I'm not unsatisfied with how this looks. We just need to tweak a little bit at this end. So we're going to go to Control Vertex, and I'll just hit the B key again, just so we got a soft select. Hold down B and left click and drag. to kind of make that impact a bit smaller. And it's just mainly these here, but overall I think it looks okay. We can take these down maybe slightly. I'll increase that a little bit. But overall I think it looks okay. All right, we're gonna hit B to get out of that soft select. We're gonna select this guy. It looks okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to start to model our first chain element, and for that we'll take a polygon cube. We'll hit W, where is it? Right there. I'll just move it over here so we can see it better. F to zoom in. We're going to hit R to pull that out a little bit, push that in like so. We're going to go to insert edge loop, option box, multiple, and set that to let me think. Set that to 2. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to Q on our keyboard. We're going to right click on a face. And we're going to drag select these and these. And we're going to hit R to scale that out. Hang on, I forgot to extrude. Sorry. Control E. We're going to hit R to scale them out, and maybe push it in a little bit like so, and we'll adjust that in a minute. So we'll go in like that. We're going to right click at a vertex, take these and these, and then push them in something like so. Okay, hit Q in your keyboard, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to hit 3 to preview smooth. Okay, we're getting closer. We're going to go back in. We're going to go to insert edge loop again, which is still on 2, and we're going to add them in this direction, and then hit R and pull them out. So they're going to hold that edge here, and then we're going to go to object mode, hit 3 again. That looks much better. Okay, so instead of preview smooth, we're going to go to mesh and smooth to actually smooth it. So when we hit 1, we're going to go back 1 step, and depending on how high poly you want this to be, you could bump this up to, for example, 2. But keep in mind that we're going to have quite a few of these, so it's going to be a pretty big impact on your system. Okay, I'm going to hit R to push that in a little bit. Then I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate it, and I'm going to hit W, and I'm going to move that over. Let's say something like that. Okay, I'm going to select them both, hit Control D again. I'm going to push that back and have a look to about there. That looks about right. And then for my top view, I'm going to hit F to zoom in. I want this one to be brought in like so, and that one to be brought in like so. Okay. Now we need something to combine these guys. So I'm going to take a polygon cylinder, hit W to move that. Okay. F to zoom in, E to rotate, hold down J to rotate it, W to pull out. Okay, we're going to open up the attribute editor, and let's set this to a subdivision level of 30. Looks good. We're then going to take that, we're going to hit W, we're going to bring that in and bring that over. Let's have a look from this view. Hold down V to snap it like so. R to scale that down. And that's going to be the connecting, I don't know what that's called, peg I think or something. For the top view, we're going to make sure that it's sitting okay. So hit R to scale it out so it's sticking out at both ends just a little. Okay, and then we're going to go in and we're going to right click, go to edge, double click on that entire edge, and let's try that again. That one selected and that one selected. We're going to go to edit mesh and bevel, and let's do 0.02. Okay, looks good. So we've got one there, and then we're going to hit Control D to duplicate that, and W to move that over to here, this end. Let's have a look. Okay, and let's see, where do we want this guy? We want this guy, let's say, right there. Okay, we're going to do a quick test here. So I'm going to drag select the whole thing, and I'm going to go to mesh and combine. So now if you hit Control D to duplicate and you bring this over, that will be a chain section. Okay, so we're going to delete that. We're going to get this to size as best as we can. So let's see, let's do that here. Obviously this is huge compared to what it needs to be. F to zoom in, R to scale down. Have to zoom in again, and you kind of need to do a guess as far as, you know, how it's going to look. So I'm going to hit E to rotate that and try to get that in line with what we have so far. Okay, now let's say that that is good size wise. So what we need to do next is, from our top view, make sure that we're where we need to be. Have to zoom in. Okay, now our curve is here, so that's going to be positioned on our gears. This gear needs to move down just a little, and then we're going to take this guy and we're going to move that on top of our curve. All right. So now that we have all that done, it's time to get this guy copied over. Here we go. Okay guys, the final steps here. So we have our gears, we got our curve, we got our chain element here, and now it's time to put that chain on the bike. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this little chain element. We're going to select our curve, so shift select that. And in our animation tab, we're going to go to constrain. We're going to go to motion path, and we're going to attach to motion path and hit the option box. Okay, so a couple of things we want to do here. We want to set this to start to end. We're going to start at 1, and this end time is something that you need to play with. So I kind of figured out that I need 160 chain sections to make this work. But you probably will have to do this a couple of times until you get the right number. Okay, so my number is 160, so that's what I'm going to go with. And the second is that you want to tell the system what is the up position for the chain piece and what is the front position. Okay, so the front axis is pointing towards X, as you can see down here, so that's good, and the up axis is Y. All right, so I'm good with that, so I'm going to hit attach. Now the only thing you see that happens is it jumps forward and it's now attached, and if you get in closely you see there's a number in there. Let's see, yeah, you see that little dark number? That's the number we chose, 160. Okay, but I want to see the actual chain on my bike. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go in to let's see, visualize. And I'm going to go towards, where is it? Create animation snapshot. And I'm going to hit the option box. And what's really important here is that we again select start to end, start frame 1, and I selected 160. So I need to match that here, and it has to be an increment of 1. Okay, so we have that. So let's get this guy where we need it to be, and let's just hit snapshot. And here we go. We'll give that a sec, and there you go. The system has created our chain, and you can see that it's going all the way around. So that's how you do that. Okay, so basically that is it, guys. If you want to save this out, what you can do is go into the outliner and delete that curve, and then you can just select your entire bike and go to edit, delete by type, history. We can go to let's see, modify freeze transformations. We'll do modify center pivot. So we should be able to move that over. Yeah, there you go. And there you have it, guys. There is our bike. You can spend more time on this if you like. You can put in cables and brakes and all that kind of stuff. But this is intended as you know, a fairly basic bike. So hopefully this series was helpful for you guys. If you haven't done that already, please hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more in the future. Okay. So that said, thank you guys for watching, and love to see you guys again. Bye.